Hey, good evening, everybody. Happy Wednesday night. It's Wednesday, so that means it is time for the Pandemic Proof Singer Series. I'm your host, Danielle Tucker. I'm a singer, a vocal coach. I'm a lead singer with the Mighty Untouchables Band, and I am the recent producer and host of the Pandemic Proof Singer Summit. The Pandemic Proof Singer Series that you're watching tonight, it's a weekly interview series about singers, for singers and musicians. It's about singers moving forward out of the pandemic and opening our industry back up. And it's about community. It's about lifting one another up. It's about inspiring one another and just doing hard things together. So tonight we have a really, really special edition because I have brought on two guys who are going to be talking to us about cryptocurrency. And the reason that this topic really piqued my interest, one of our guests is David Yuter. He and I work on gigs together, and we've had a few conversations about this. And I have found the topic so interesting. It's an area that I know absolutely nothing about. But if you participated in the summit this year, you know that the central focus of it was up leveling and improving our financial literacy as musicians. During this pandemic, our industry in particular took a huge hit. And I think so many of us found ourselves in this really, really rough position, we didn't have a plan in place, for something like this to, you know, when something like this hits. We didn't have a safety net. A lot of us didn't know how to navigate around the system to seek financial assistance. So many of us, we weren't prepared. And so I really wanted the summit to revolve around that topic so that we could break out of this starving artist mentality and start looking through things in a different lens and really reframe our profession as a whole and start discovering all of those avenues and possibilities of building wealth and making a great living at what we're doing, make a great living at what we love doing. So each conversation that I've had with David about this has been really awesome. And I'm excited for him and our other guests to come on and talk about this. And again, I know nothing about this topic, so I'm going to kick back and let them really steer the conversation tonight. So let me tell you a little bit about them. I have David Yuter and Raymond Harper on tonight. David is a keyboard player and a producer living in San Diego. He has toured around the world and plays upward of 150 shows a year. He's passionate about the music world and helping musicians reach their ultimate success in their professionalism, finance, and mindset. And Raymond Harper is a hip hop artist from Michigan, currently living in Hollywood. He's passionate about the words he speaks and music he writes with the intention of influencing the greater good. When he's not writing music, he's committed to learning the depths of the crypto world and bringing that knowledge to family, friends, and loved ones whenever he can. So let me bring these guys on. Hey, guys.
Hey,
Welcome. So happy to have you here with us.
thanks for having us on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for doing this. And before I forget to mention it, everybody watching, please jump into the comments tonight. So ask whatever questions you have, so that, we really know how to steer this conversation. I think we're going to, really kind of start things at a basic level, so that everybody has a general understanding of what it is we're talking about. And then, for those of you that are kind of already familiar with this world, you might have some questions you want to throw their way. But guys, maybe one at a time, if you want to just give us, let's start out by giving us a little bit of your background and what your musical journey has been like this far, so we can get to know you a little bit better first.
Yeah. So, as you guys know, I'm from Michigan. I'm from Detroit. And when I started music, I always was like rapping. And in school, we used to always be at the lunch tables, and how it goes. And one of my friends was like, "Yo, you should start taking it serious." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever." So and then I actually went to the army, and like it was such a new like environment for me. Then like I picked it back up and like really like start taking it serious. And I fell in love with the writing process, honestly. Like that's what I love to do, just like writing songs, either for me or for other people. And like right now, it just took me after the army. Like I moved. I used to live in North Carolina. Started doing music there, and then like I just finally made the move to just come out here and you know see what happens. Roll the dice.
Awesome. Great. David, how
Yeah.
about you?
Yeah. And I grew up in North County, San Diego, and from pretty much like the early days. I mean, I was self-taught piano from the age of around 3 or 4, and then in high school, I was forming bands and won battle of the bands a couple of times. So that was like an instant like boost of confidence. Like, hey, this is really cool. So ever since then, I've just been in multiple bands and playing with artists. And some years were crazy busy, where I was just like on the road a lot and playing, so many shows. And right now is pretty steady with the casinos and some other venues around town, playing with about 5, 6 different groups right now and doing some producing and artist development. So definitely keeping my plate full and reminding myself I don't always have to be like the yes guy, and spreading myself too thin. So, but yeah, so that's a little bit about me.
Great. Yeah. Funny you should mention that. And I don't know if you guys are feeling this or not, but this series started over a year ago now. And of course it started out of need, just, with us being in quarantine. I really needed a creative
Mhm.
project to do. And then and I also wanted to have something that kind of supported our community. But I've been thinking back to the earliest interviews about how much we were longing for work and just how, we just couldn't wait for things to turn around. And it seems as though in the last 2 to 3 weeks, with things opening up, things are flooding back at an
Mhm.
insane rate. And I'm extremely grateful for that. I'm really inside. I am excited. I'm, happy to be getting back into the routine of things. But my mind and my body have not caught up with this yet. I am
So
totally God, I am so not in the flow
Maybe.
of this right now, and I am, like, hanging on by my fingernails right now. Just
cool.
I have so many plates spinning right now. I'm spread so thin right now that it's crazy. So,
Mhm.
just pray for me, and I'll pray for all of you because this is crazy
Yeah.
right now. Are you feeling that?
Oh yeah. The other day I don't know, sometimes my mind is like, yeah, do a double,
Yes.
whatever. It's only 10 hours of playing. It's all good. So I did a double after having a late gig the night before. So it was 3 gigs in 2 days. And by the end of the last set of Paula, I literally felt like I had gone to the gym for a week straight and just like lifted weights. Like my arms were sore, my hands were cramping up. I was like, this is crazy. And my energy, like on Monday after or on Sunday after the gigs, I didn't get off the couch at
Yeah.
all. Like I couldn't. I was just like locked. And it's good. It's good to work hard and see everything opening. And yeah, it's definitely like
It's a blessing.
It
it's such
is.
a blessing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That there's opportunities. And what I'm actually seeing right now, which is it's so perfect, is that there's not so many like musicians and bands in San Diego that aren't gigging, and there's a crazy demand for gigs. So
Yes.
what's happening is like, I'll get an offer for a certain arrangement, but I'm already booked, and I'll reach out to a bunch of people and they're already like months in advance and they're like, yeah, we're already booked. So then I'll get back and I'll be like, I don't know, I've reached out to everyone and everyone's already working. So these are all signs that we're returning to stability, and musicians are thriving, like the artist community. I mean, we were just talking earlier, and Harper writes every day, like every single
A
day,
little bit
something.
something, at least a little. If it's not a whole song, it's a little piece of something like that can spark a song. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
even if it's just like you as an artist, like throughout the day, I feel like there's at least one time that you have like something that you just think and that you be like that would sound good in a song. but then you never write it down, and then it's just lost.
It's gone.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like your dreams. You got to remember your dreams by like waking up in the middle of the night and just like scribbling something down and then decoding it in the morning, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. Yo, every writing workshop I've ever taken that's always like the number one thing that they try to drive home is
Mhm.
always be writing. Everything is a muse, everything is a prompt, everything is like a source of information. And yeah, if you're not capturing it, nothing's going to happen with it. So that's great. That's great. Yeah. I know. I'm happy for all of us. And I know that we'll get back into the flow of the routine of this kind of pace of life. So it's a good,
Totally.
good thing now. And I think we're all going to I think we're gonna make up for some lost
Yeah.
revenue. So
Yeah.
so yeah. So speaking of revenue, let's jump into some money talk here.
Money.
All right. So the focus tonight, we're going to be talking about cryptocurrency. We're going to be talking about how that plays out in the life of a musician, how it can benefit the life of a musician. So maybe you guys, why don't you start by telling us like how you guys know each other and how your common interest in this was piqued, and how you got interested in this to begin with, and then take us into what is cryptocurrency and explain it to us like we're six.
Okay.
Amazing. So both of our girlfriends, life partners, whatever you want to call it, are sisters. So
Okay.
we're probably future brother-in-laws,
Nice.
most
Great.
certainly. And yeah, we met. I don't know, how long have you been dating? It's been a couple years.
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. So when we met, there was just an instant connection with like the music and us getting together late nights, like 2, 3 in the morning in the garage, just kind of jamming and like
he'll play piano and I'll just sit here like freestyle like for hours.
Forever.
Like, even if it don't make sense, I'll just be splurting out words while he play. Like
yeah.
Great.
So yeah, we met and instantly like established this kind of like bond and trust, from like friends and even closer to family. And finances are like kind of a touchy subject. Like some people don't want to talk about it or don't know fully how to like operate and manage their money and like what's coming in, and realizing like make sure you pay yourself, make sure instead of just paying out credit cards and having like zero debt or not putting money away here or diversifying. Like a lot of people just don't know. And kind of where we're headed right now is it's very rare that people are getting paid like cold hard US dollar cash. Like very rare. You either get a check, which is all digital, and it's a centralized system. So you send your Chase check that somebody gave you to your bank. So now the two banks are communicating, and it's centralized. So right now, pretty much all our money is centralized, which means the banks have control. And essentially what crypto is it was created in 2009. So it's only been around for about 11 years. And the people who got into it 8, 9 years ago are doing really well and can retire for the rest of their life, and their families and their families' families. So there's a very small percentage called the uncommon 1% that made a lot of money. Like I met someone in Hawaii who is basically making like $35K a day from the crypto he bought 8 years ago in Ethereum. So he's just chilling, like no worries. So essentially what crypto is it's taking the centralized and making it decentralized. So it's putting the money back into the people's pockets and accounts, and we have more control over exactly what our money is doing, where it's being stored, how to protect it against any, attacks, because if everything's online could potentially get hacked in some way if coders somewhere in the world know your information. So it's taking the necessary steps to protect your digital assets, because right now, like, it's just a number on a computer screen. That's what we see. So that's essentially what the basis of crypto is it's taking this whole digital currency and spreading it amongst the people, where we are adding value to it by the popularity. And then what happens is countries and banks and companies and everybody implements it. Because now all we're hearing in the past 6 months, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, all these banks are signing on with these crypto companies.
So there's multiple categories of like cryptocurrency. There's DeFi, there's utility tokens, there's peer-to-peer, there's NFTs. So like crypto is like, it all depends on what you like and what you want to put your money in.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so like Bitcoin is like a peer-to-peer. Well, it was supposed to be a peer-to-peer, but it's like a peer-to-peer. So it's like private. Like you can send me money like privately without the banks knowing, and like there's utility coins that help companies like do payments faster. Like, how sometimes you'll go to the gas station and you'll pay, but then like it doesn't come out of your account like until like a couple days after.
Okay.
It pens for like a day or two, and then it comes out. But like with crypto is just like the currency of the technology that you're investing in. So like the blockchain is really what people are investing in, and it's not the cryptocurrency. And so like, that's what like utility coins are. And like peer-to-peer, like Bitcoin, like he said, like off like it's like the popularity of it. Like, so like if like Dogecoin, let's say talk about Dogecoin.
Yeah,
Everybody
so
knows about Dogecoin.
Dogecoin, so that's one type of coin. So
peer-to-peer.
like there's actual assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum where you have Bitcoin, I have Bitcoin, and then I transfer it to you. It goes in your wallet, and now it's yours without any middleman. It's literally just peer-to-peer. Then there's community coins or meme coins or whatever, which are the Doge coins. And I actually have personal experience with purchasing Doge from Harper in January at a penny, So I purchased a good amount, and then like it went up to like 72 cents. So what we were seeing back in the day, like 6 months ago, are so much hype and news and showing that some people can make a lot of money, but most people lose money because they don't time it right.
So with those peer-to-peer coins, like it all depends on who the investor. Like it's the mostly peer-to-peer coins are retail investors like me and you. But then there's like utility coins that have like real world use case that like can help your business like receive money and send money faster, like so. And with those, like you want to like how should I put this?
Well, it's like, if you have a friend on the other side of the world and for whatever reason they needed like $1,000 in their currency, to get them out of a pickle or something, the investment that we are making in crypto is essentially the technology that will be able to send your country's currency to their country, and it converts in less than 10 seconds. Okay. Literally, like with no middleman, like the people on the other side of the world through like the internet digital blockchain system. And what we've been seeing lately is just a flood of coins, and they call them, for lack of a better term, shit coins, because they're there for the sole purpose to flood the market and intimidate people that might have lost a little bit or a lot of money to not enter the space again. Because so what it's doing is it's dividing like classes from the people who actually realize like what the technology is and how it's being implemented in our life, like at the present moment and where it's going to be. And maybe this is a good time to bring up
XRP.
So, okay. Yeah, go for it.
So I'll let you talk about XRP, but I'm going to tell you guys this. So the SWIFT system, right? It's what's with our banks. We've been running on it for like the last 50, 100 years. And like, so like he said, crypto is going to make the transfer faster. So like right now the SWIFT, if you wanted to send like $1 million, overseas, you have to wire transfer all these fees, crypto, so some of the utility coins cuts that middleman out. So like you can send me $1 million without, it'll be on the blockchain for like the government to see, but like there's no middleman. So you're not paying no fees to, so the banks aren't really making money off of us anymore like they used to.
Okay. Can you explain what blockchain is?
So Blockchain, it's basically it's the new internet. So
Okay.
It's like Internet 2.0.
yeah, it's basically the new internet. You can pretty much you can store. So the internet we have now, they call the internet of like communication and connectivity, right? This is crypto is like blockchain is like internet of value. So it's still the internet. We're still gonna have all the Amazons, but like this is just the internet of value. Just like the .com, this is just it's literally the same thing.
It's like claiming your .com was like your real estate, right? Like claiming your like plot of land, like, hey, I have this space on the internet. Now you're actually like putting money into it, into this digital space, you know, because we don't see our money unless you take it out and you have cold hard cash. You just see a number, you know. So a lot of like companies run on blockchains where, you know, their information is stored on like this whole digital grid and they're able to communicate with each other.
Communicate with anything that's on the blockchain. Like you could put it like something like there's like NFTs, which are like video games are on the blockchain, which can communicate like it's literally, like I said, like the internet of value. It's like internet, like you said, internet 2.0. It's just an extra add-on. And it's just new technology, you know?
Yeah, and there's even internet browsers that are specifically for staking coins and getting coins just for using the internet browser. So this this goes into this whole absolutely mind-blowing, incredible world that I'm learning. Like I also, this is a good time to say we are both not financial advisors. This is not financial advice at all. This is simply what we've been experiencing the past year. And maybe this is a good segment to kind of say like how I got into it and my mindset of where I was like pre-pandemic. So I was grinding, I was just taking anything I could, like working myself to the bone. And then the great pause, you know, it was just so nice to like take a moment. And, you know, with those stimulus checks and unemployment for a little bit as a musician, I was like, damn, like I have more money now than I've had in a while. What am I going to do with all this extra money? It's literally just sitting, collecting zero interest in my bank account. At the time, my rent was pretty low. I was living in Palm Springs in a place and paid like very low rent. So I had all of this extra money just sitting there. And after talking with some people, one of my really, really good friends, childhood friends, called me up and kind of just gave me the download. He's like, hey, he's like, do you have an extra few grand that you can throw into this? He was talking about the whole system. And it was the first time I ever really understood it, because like I bought Bitcoin a couple years ago and like bought it at a really good price. And if I would have held it, you know, that's the typical story.
Yeah.
but the market, you have to understand the market and the game, because the whole thing is a game. It really is. It's going to make a lot of people a lot of freaking money, especially like, again, this is not financial advice, but if you have a few grand, like put it in a crypto.
So,
and I mean,
so the easiest way, like how I explain it to people like in my family, like, cause they don't understand it. And I'm like, okay, we're basically living in the 1920s again. If you really want to, like, you know, we're in the 20s. Okay. Just imagine being alive when the stock market, a new asset class, like, you know how many people was like, oh, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. You feel me? So like
with everything, even the internet,
like if your granddad did that, your family was still like, I wouldn't even, we don't even know who they are. You know what I mean? Like, I never crossed paths with them because like, you know, like they put their family in a position to be like, you know, have that generational wealth. Like they took that risk, you know? And like, I always tell people like, you spend $200 on some shoes and you want to know you might get a year out of them. Okay. $200. Like that's how I started investing. Like I started doing like this stuff called Forex, the foreign exchange market. I started doing that and that's kind of risky. So like I stopped and I actually just started like looking at cryptos and stuff. I'm like, yo, I spent like $150 on shoes. Like, let me just put it in, you know, I got into Dogecoin when it was like fractions of a penny, you know, and like and like it, like we said, it went to 75 cents and it was like, which is like
35,000% of your investment.
So it's like, that $200 pair of shoes I was gonna buy wouldn't like I would be cleaning them right now with a toothbrush. It wouldn't even matter.
Yeah. Wow. So maybe walk me through it this way. So I have my $100 bill, like my cash dollar bill in my hand. How do I take this $100 bill, invest it into a cryptocurrency, and then what happens with it from there? How do I then live in the real world with it? How do I use it? Or do I just hold it as just a long-term investment? And then how does it come back to me?
Really great question. So take the $100, whatever bank that you go through, like get it to be a digital $100. And then from there, you sign up with one of the online platforms. Coinbase is the most popular, and it was listed as an IPO. Crypto.com, Gemini, Uphold, Binance. These are all very popular exchanges that some exchanges have some coins. Other exchanges have those coins but don't have other coins. So it really is about doing your research or trusting the people who have done their research for you to be like, hey, these are the legit coins that you should take this $100 and put it in. So
there's people on YouTube, you know, like real. It took I watched like 2 or 3 YouTube guys, and like a lot of them like a lot of YouTubers like yell out prices and like, oh, it might go here, but after like digging, you know, a couple months of just researching, I found like these 3 that I like, and one of them, like his name's Coach JV, like 3T Warrior. Like he has like a whole academy. He's pretty good. Like he breaks down news. He doesn't tell you about charts, or he tells you about, okay, this Ray Dalio is doing this, or like, you know, they say they're doing this, and he basically breaks it down like ABC style, like, to be honest,
right?
Like what's really going on. Like, okay, they're bashing Bitcoin, but look, they don't put this on the, you know.
He explains how to understand the narrative, because when the pandemic happened, there was a narrative this way and there was a narrative the complete opposite way. And believe it or not, that's what's happening with crypto right now, where there's such like people are buying the news and selling the rumors. People are literally, whatever news comes out, they're buying it, you know.
So like if you hear about something on news like Dogecoin, when Dogecoin was at its high, it was too late to get in at that point. Once
it was
you
already
hear about
pumped.
It on the news, you don't want to buy it when like something's doing good and it's on the news and it's being blasted on the news. Like you're too late to the boat, you know. Like
yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So maybe you can break down that aspect for me. So I think we're getting a picture for, you know, those who support investing in this, you know, the whys of, you know, the pros of it. But so like, what are the haters saying? You know, why are people discouraging this?
I mean, well, for me personally, when I explain this to, you know, friends or family, initially I was getting a lot of like, this is ridiculous. Like, I don't even want to hear it. Like, I don't understand it. It's over my head. And I'm like, but if I can break it down to you, like I can turn your $100 into $1,000. So it was kind of like picking the people who wanted to receive the information. And I mean, there are definitely like haters for certain coins because of the, you know, like the US in the past year has kind of chosen a direction of going more green. So we're seeing all of these carbon emission regulations that are going to be taking effect in the coming years. So the whole narrative, just in a nutshell, is green, right? When they explain or mention gas power is the amount of electricity that it takes to send this money. So a huge part to understand is, are there eco-friendly coins that maybe are like 400,000 kilowatts as opposed to Bitcoin that's like billions of kilowatts? So
basically, like to send 1 Bitcoin is like equivalent to burning 75 gallons of gas, as they say.
Yeah.
So
like the amount of energy that it takes up. So that's why we see so many coins, because Everyone has a slightly
they're trying. Everyone right now, it's like the Wild Wild West. Like that's why people always say do your research, because it's literally like the .com bubble. Like everybody thought when the internet first came out, everybody thought they were going to have an online business or something online. You know, that's what the crypto is right now. So it's like once regulations, it's not even regulated yet. So you know they're going to regulate it. So once it's regulated, 99.9% of these coins are going to be gone. Besides the ones that don't have, the ones that have real world use case, like that can help us like advance as like in society. Those are the ones going to be here. You know, like so like that's what I always tell people to do your research on like what you invest in. You know, like invest in the coins that have utility. Like there's this coin called like that's one of my favorites. It's VeChain. And basically it's in like the supply, it's aimed to like their technology aims to help like supply chains, like, you know, like, so like they have this, everyone knows what the QR code is. So they use the QR code technology. So like, let's say you go to Walmart, you'll be able to, in a couple of years, you'll be able to scan this QR code on your piece of chicken and see every stop, every place, everything, from farm to table, basically. That's what they say. From farm to table, you'll be able to see where your food, anything.
That's the chain. That's, you know, it's keeping, and it stores.
It's like a big cloud.
It stores everything on it. So literally, which is kind of scary. Like I'm sure there's viewers out there who are like, this is too much information. I like old school. I like the way it is.
It's just like investing in Microsoft back in the day, like or Amazon. Or,
yeah.
You know, like when they first came out, people were like, oh, that's not, you know, they came out during the .com.
Never gonna work.
Right. But now what? They're one of the biggest. Yeah. So it's like people are afraid of it because it's new and they don't understand it. But as I tell people, it's not even regulated yet. So no one really understands it. So right now, like what you said earlier, financial literacy, like I wasn't able to like, you know, like I wasn't taught that, not in school, not, you know. Yeah. So like right now, before things get regulated, like you have the opportunity to at least like dive in and be like, okay, you know, and then once it get regulated, then like you'll know the rules as they come out because it has, you know, it's
one of the ways
new.
One of the ways like I got introduced to the game is like I took $250 and put them in a few different coins. You know, I put $250 in this coin, and over 6 months, like I studied every day what the charts were doing, how it was going. If Bitcoin goes down, all crypto's down. If all stocks are down, all crypto's down. So it's these little trends that I started to see where, you know, if the mantra is like buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the lows. So whenever it goes down, the mindset from right now, it's 2021, it should be in 2025 because the mindset is invest now because in 2025 we're changing over. This whole system is changing over faster than we can even comprehend right now. And what we're going to see in the next couple of weeks just with crypto and different networks dropping, different tokens that are dropping,
and in the near future, China's already have theirs, the CBDC, the central bank digital currency, which is going to be like the digital dollar. China already like gave like I think like 6 billion like to the people and let them try it out, and like their economy is just like it's so fast. It's like it's basically not touching anything. Just whoop, whoop. It's crazy. So this is just what I think from me doing my research. Like the U.S. is like right now they're testing it out, and you know no matter what they say, like we're in a tech war with China. Like if we, you know, just like always, like China wants, you know, whatever. So like right now, what I feel like that was going to happen is the stimulus checks are going to keep coming, but to issue it to like get people comfortable with it, they're going to start issuing these stimulus checks through this digital dollar crypto thing. So like, so they don't just overwhelm everybody. Like, yeah, crypto's like a thing now. So they're going to like, you know, they can't just drop the bomb on everybody, you know, they have to like ease it in. So like, that's what it's looking like.
And listing Coinbase as an IPO, even my dad said it, you know, who's like late 50s or early 60s, but he's like pretty, you know, into like the standard ways of investing in stocks and couldn't wrap his head around this for a while. When Coinbase got listed as an IPO, he took it more seriously. because it was like oh, this is legit, and it was the highest single listed IPO in history. Was a cryptocurrency website platform. So I mean, if that doesn't say it right there, and all the news that's coming out, and it's
either way you look at it, either if you don't invest in it, you're going to be using it in the future.
100%.
So like a lot of people asking, so if we get paid in crypto, is it going to go up and down? No, that's what the digital dollars for. Is going to be what they call right now in the crypto world a stable coin. So $500 is going to be $500.
Yep.
So right now, investing in crypto is you're investing into the technology that's going to run our financial system in the future.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
And I also think that's a good point to kind of ladder. You can actually stake your crypto. So when you buy it, you are the bank, right? So you're getting interest on just having your money on some of these platforms where your money's not going anywhere in your bank account. You know, you might have a checking account at 0.05% interest. Some of these coins can stake up to like 7, 8, 9% interest, where just buying it and holding it for 4 years. Like the mindset is, if you're going to buy whatever crypto, you have to decide if you're looking to make a quick penny.
Yes.
And buy low, sell high, get out of there, pay your capital gains tax, whatever it is, you know? And it's like, or you can hold it and be in the mindset of 2025 and then just keep stacking, accumulating as much as you can.
It's like
packing your bag.
It's like the new bank. So like right now, the banks don't give you no interest. Like say you had $1 million, you wouldn't get nothing at the end of the year if you had it in the savings account. But if you had $1 million in crypto, yes, it might go up and down. But within that 4 years, like 2 years, like you never know what can happen. You know, like
yeah.
You know, like you're gonna lose money, but you're also gonna gain too. So it's like that $1 million, even if it's like 1.2 at the end of the year, that was more than you like. You can live off that, you know, like in certain places, you know.
Yeah. Wow, this is so fascinating. You commented just a few minutes ago about buying the dips, and we have Chris James is in the comments.
Chris, what's up?
Hey, Chris.
Chris buys the dips. He's stacked, dude. Chris knows a lot about crypto, and he's been an early investor for sure, and he's doing really well.
That's great. That's great. I was just thinking that I love that you guys are kind of like evangelizing this because, you know, speaking to the fact that there's haters about it because it's not understood. You know, it's new and it's not fully understood by everyone. I really feel like this, I hope, is one of the big lessons that we as a music community have learned and taken out of this pandemic experience is, you know, we really need to rewrite the narrative of how we operate as an industry. You know, I think so many of us, I think most of us, we get into this business because we have a passion for it. You know, it's what we love to do. It's kind of what we were born to do. We don't really get into it so much because we feel like we're going to make a great living at it, you know, because of everything we've been told, because of every opinion that everybody in the world has about being a musician, and that, you know, yes, it'll probably be like a fun career, but you're only going to make so much doing that.
For
and
sure.
So as a result, we stay stuck in this position and we take $100 gig that we spend 6 hours working on, you know, and we stay stuck in this cycle forever and ever and ever, because it's hard to learn all of the things. It's hard to open our minds to different possibilities that are out there. But, you know, so if you really felt the pain of this pandemic and got hit hard by it, you know, maybe even so hard that you considered switching careers over this whole thing. You know, I really hope that you will take Harper and David's words to heart, that there's so much possibility out there. And if you'll just kind of allow yourself to consider the possibilities, you know, that are available, you can really begin to reframe the way you look at this, because it just simply isn't true that as a musician you can't make a great living. I mean, um, I make a great living doing it, and it's not because I've uncovered some sort of a secret, but I just simply believe that it is possible, and I look at it that way. And so that's how I approach, all of the work that I do, right? And so I don't know, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're spot on. It's interesting to navigate, and I've kind of seen this like standard in San Diego, where venues have been paying more, partly because musicians are not taking the gigs, or they want like a certain quality or a certain standard of music, depending on what the live music is. And I believe there's always a space for passion projects and doing stuff just for the love of it, just
Sure.
because it reminds you what being a musician and being an artist and a writer is all about, which is getting together, collaborating, jamming, creating music, always putting music out there. And what we're seeing right now is like this renaissance where we're going to the moon. Our industry is so set. The entire music, artist, entertainment industry is pretty set, because right now there is such an insane demand for live entertainment, like we were talking about in the beginning of this. And musicians are making more. They're making more money. Make sure to pay yourself. If you get $300 for a gig, take $50 and put it in the side account. I use something called Acorns, which is automatic, and it's set up to my bank account. So it withdraws, I call it a life tax, just for, or a happiness tax or whatever it is. And you're paying yourself every day that you wake up and you take your first breath. You're paying yourself, because that Acorns is cool because it invests your total amount in the stock market, and you accumulate, some bit onto that. And that's just a side account. Keep some money in Venmo, keep some money in Cash App, keep some money in PayPal, because your only value is what is how you value yourself. So if you set yourself at like a certain price tag, like I'm not going to be happy unless I make this amount. Well, a lot of people are missing the present moment where they're not realizing all that they have. For me, a sense of savings and having different accounts with, whatever I have in it, it provides this sense of like stability where I can build upon, where I can take more risks because I'm not willing to lose it. So what I've been doing is investing, a little bit in myself, a little bit here, a little bit there. And whenever the dips happen, I'll buy a little more crypto, because it's just going to keep going up, and it's always a good time to buy. That's pretty much like my overall statement. It's always a good time to get in. It's never too late.
Especially right now.
Oh my God. Right now is a fire sale. Like you can get some of these, and should we even say, okay, so if you have $100 or $1,000, buy XRP.
Please.
Just buy it. It's right now in a legal lawsuit with the SEC, because what happens is,
again, this is not financial advice.
Again, this is not financial advice. But
if you were my best friend, I would tell my best friend.
I've told everybody to buy it.
I told my mom to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you, and I think my mom's even going to give me some money that she has sitting there so I can invest for her. XRP is going to be how we send money around the world in the coming months, years.
So like, how the Swift system, I explained the Swift system, how you don't see it in action? Like when you swipe your debit card, that's still on the Swift system, but like everything's going to be running on the XRP ledger. So, because it's the fastest, like you can transfer
3 seconds, 3 seconds and anywhere in the world.
Settled, like,
and it has some of the lowest gas,
like transaction fees.
So right now it's actually in a legal lawsuit with the SEC since January 19th. Because what happens is with any with any industry or anything that's like coming about, they let it happen, then they sue it, then they regulate it, then they implement it. And that's the process. So right now we're in the suing, regulating stage where it's going to be regulated. It's going to be here. So
just like Tesla and
Uber,
Amazon got sued by the same people,
Airbnb, you know, like all these industries that are huge.
Industries that come and disrupt like a new technology, like, you know, it always gets sued and like, oh, like he said, then we adapted and we implemented, you know. So like we're still in like, we're not even adapting to it yet. Like we're like in the stages of like putting the pieces together, you know. That's why there's so many coins out there and they're not regulating it right now, because like just my personal opinion, like you know how it is. Like they don't want you to get what they get, you know. So like they'll push all these other, you know. That's why I always say do your research, you know, like the information's out there. Like if you ever want to invest in any crypto, if it doesn't have a white paper, it's I mean, when a white paper, it tells you who's on the team, like what their goal is. It's like a roadmap to their company, you know.
Invest in leadership.
Yeah.
Do research in the companies, invest in leadership, because the leaders and the good teams are going to take these companies and these coins. So like if you go on Ripple, is Ripple, probably ripple.com, or you just type in on Google Ripple company, and then it'll say XRP. You can read all about it and read all the countries, all the institutions, everything.
Every bank that's partnered with them that you won't see on TV.
Bank of America recently, just partnered.
Bank of Egypt, like it's big. So like
it's big.
Like you said, if you were my best friend, I'd tell you to put, if you got $100.
I would say a good entry point right now.
Whatever you can afford.
Taking $1,000 and throwing it in XRP would be pretty smart. If you don't need that money, if you're looking for a quick gamble, like, you know, come to Paula and watch the Mighty Untouchables and all these bands, and play the slot machine, because that's a gamble. What you're doing is you're investing in yourself and generational wealth for years and years and years. Where
don't be the next Bitcoin story.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I think that kind of leads me to my next question, which is, so say someone like me, I'm intrigued with this. I have my $100, my $1,000, and I'm like, yeah, okay, well, I would like to kind of dip my foot in this pool. So you said step number 1 is that you get signed up on one of these various platforms. And then are they built in a way where they're going to kind of guide you through this process, or do you need to do like a significant amount of research before going into this? Or is that something you can is this a learn as you go type process?
Yeah.
Buying is easy. And then like the selling, it's not, it all depends on where you're trying to move it to. Then that's where it gets difficult. But there's like, you can go to YouTube University and like pretty much, you know.
Yeah. And a lot of these platforms too, like you click get started, sign up, and it'll walk you through it step by step. Really, all you do, the most difficult thing is just putting in your account and routing number for your bank, so it knows where to pull funds from. You can also, and you know, just kind of be cautious with this, but there are some companies that allow you to even put it on a credit card, which is incredible, because then if you're just like making money off your crypto, you just pay off what you did on your credit card. And to me, it's like a too good to be true situation, but I actually did it. And then my bank stopped me from buying more crypto from this website, because it's a thing, you know, it's here. So the easiest way is just connect your bank, and sometimes there's limits of like $500 a day. It'll allow you. But if you want XRP, again, this is not financial advice, I would just get Uphold, because it's on Uphold. And right now you can't buy and sell and on Coinbase because it got flagged for whatever reason. But you are able to purchase XRP on Uphold. And I would for sure like get some, if you have some that you don't mind just letting sit for a couple years. That's where I would take the $100, and it'll walk you through it. It's super easy. And then from there, I just got something called a cold storage wallet. So for instance, not to go too deep, but the pipeline that got stopped not too long ago, there was actually a hack, like a ransom hack in Bitcoin. And a lot of Bitcoin accounts just got hacked for no reason. So what we're seeing is it's really easy. And since it's all online, you want to protect your assets. So whatever you get, you want to get something called a cold storage wallet, which is essentially, it's like a fancy USB stick that plugs into your computer. You have a unique PIN. And if you forget your PIN, there's a unique 24-word phrase that you write down, tattoo on your body, and, you know, put it in the street, whatever it is, like that's your lifeline. And you keep all of it on there. And that's your digital wallet essentially. So it's called the Nano Ledger X. And I just got one and transferred a lot of my crypto on there. So now I'm holding it. I'm also staking and getting interest. And you can set up certain things where if it's like a stock, if the crypto goes to a certain price, for whatever reason, if it glitches or just goes to a price, you lock in and you buy more. So there are tools where you can actually do options and buy at like a lower price, even though you don't have to watch the chart all day.
It's you become your own bank, and like there's a lot of options you can do on there. Like for instance, we won't dive deep into it, but like you can pretty much like you said, earn interest, stake, and like if you have if enough, like let's say someone makes $1 million, you'll be able to give yourself a loan against your own asset right there in on the ledger. So it's like right now it's so new. So it's like, don't be afraid to like, cause no one really knows. Like everybody that says they're a crypto guru, like maybe like even if they held from a long time ago, but like it's still so new and everything's so much changing. And they'll even admit it. Like right now, like it's good because there's something new. Everything you're learning new things every day about it. Like, you
learn on the way. You learn by doing it, you know, and having somebody, you know, trusted that knows what they're doing to kind of walk you through it. Like Harper has been helping me out. Some of my other friends, Alon, in the early days of investing, he was kind of like, you know, guiding me through the process, because it is intimidating. It is intimidating taking that $100 and just putting it into cyberspace. I totally get it. If you think about investing in a company makes products, you know, this investment essentially is a product, but it's a product to make our entire world communicate on this certain system, which is essentially Internet 2.0, you know,
the blockchain. So every crypto is on the blockchain. Everything's going to be on the blockchain in the near future.
Everything. By 2025, we're going to see most things on the blockchain.
And you know, like 90s babies and back, we growing up, we knew like the world will be like digital one day, and it's like, but we're just alive to see it happen. You know, like we're literally in a transformation of wealth. It's like another industrial revolution. You know.
Yep.
So it's like, it's a great time to be alive. Don't miss out, you know, like do your research.
Yeah.
Everybody's learning right now. Anybody that's in crypto is still learning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what they say. They're always learning.
Yeah. If anybody who claims they're crypto masters or gurus, like I'm sorry, but there is so much to know, and it goes so deep, and it's so new. It is such a new concept. And I'm excited because, like, you know, this podcast is obviously an opportunity for us to explain to, you know, whoever is watching kind of like what this is about. And I've had a lot of one-on-ones with people and can say that I've made like 10 plus people at least $1,000 just from my suggestions, just from me being like, hey, I'm not a pro, I'm not a financial advisor, but I would recommend doing this. And it's people like that where I bought in at the Doge bump, I bought in at an XRP bump. I have like 5 or 6 other coins where I've diversified and I'm good. Like right now, I've invested enough, and now I'm basically playing on house money thanks to Dogecoin. And whatever I make now is a bonus. And my mindset is pack my bags at the dips. Whenever the dip, pack my bags, get $500 more, put it on my card if they allow it. And one last thing I want to say, a good friend of mine, John, who he lives in Canada, and I met him in Mexico in my travels. He has a very successful band called Franklin Electric. You can go look him up, and he's awesome. And he said something to me that has been pretty much on my mind since he mentioned it. And he's like, if you're not willing to max out a $50,000 credit card to fund your dreams, then you don't believe in yourself. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, it's just a loan. People get scared of the numbers or the credit score goes down and they're like, well, I'm less value or, whatever it is. And that's just a mindset.
Yes.
Everything is just a mindset. It's all one's perception on the topic. With music, if you still think like music world is messed up and nobody's gigging and an artist got hit so hard, then you're gonna kind of view it as that. But if you're like, oh my God, there's so much happening and this surplus of gigs and live entertainment, that's all you're gonna see. So I choose to see that this technology is the future, and I want to be one step ahead of the game and invest for, the building blocks of my life and my family and our family and, our kids' kids, like setting them up for success just to make, their lives a little easier.
Like, be that grandparent from 2020, 2021, 2022. Like, yeah, my granddad, my grandma, yeah, they were investors in like the crypto market. Like I'm pretty sure there's a million kids out there like, yeah, my grandfather invested in the stock market back in the day. And like, that's how we're like,
Yeah, just to give a small snapshot. So at the time of December 12th, and this date is interesting because anybody who bought XRP December 12th or before, they took a snapshot of all the holders and they get this airdrop soon, which is going to be listed on the Flare network. You can go look all this up. I'm not going to go too deep, but basically they took a snapshot, and at the time, I believe there was about only 1.3 million XRP accounts in the entire world. 1.3 million out of 7.8 billion people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they're calling this whole other class the uncommon 1%, because it's like this changeover, this whole change in mindset, this change in narrative, the change in how we do things with our money. How powerful is our dollar, our actual like dollar, which they just keep making money, printing it. We continue to go in debt. Our dollar is worth like nothing, Once that goes, they're going to need something else to back, And so we're going to see some interesting shifts really soon.
Yeah.
And, from the news coming out, it's getting really interesting. Don't just read that Elon Musk tweeted something.
Yeah, don't.
It's like ridiculous now.
He's
Yeah.
the narrative, like,
he's a big part of the narrative.
And
yeah,
that's the crazy thing. Everybody knows like the government and whatever they want to say is like we'll do. Everybody has their conspiracies, and you want to know what it's like. That, but then like when you see the narrative, you just still get like trapped into that narrative and like don't see it. But then you're like, yeah, the government's like step back, like take that step back and really see like, okay, crypto, yes, it's new. Okay, they saying this and this, you know what? But like that's just the news. Everybody knows the news is the news. You don't believe nothing. I don't believe nothing I see on the news. Unless I research it myself. Because they don't put every article they write in the news on the news. It's all that they want to see.
Yeah.
So like they'll say Bitcoin's. Oh, my sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to say on that note, I'd really be interested to hear like maybe a couple of trusted resources or like kind of places that you guys like to learn from. I know that you have mentioned a couple of the people that you like on YouTube and like to listen to, but what are some other places that you would recommend, everybody kind of be keeping an ear open to?
Twitter is where you hear everything first.
Did you say Twitter?
Twitter is like I haven't used Twitter in 10 years, but once I started doing crypto and I found out it was either Reddit or Twitter. That's the news comes out on first. And plus you can follow if you want to invest in a crypto, you can follow them on Twitter and they give updates and there's a lot of information out there. Like
Cointelegraph is an app and a website that had it, probably 10 or 20 like good news articles a day, and then you can search specific coins to read news on coins or companies or what's happening. But that's all just like, hey, here's the news, like take it or leave it. Like there's just right now I feel like with the narratives there's like little bias because it's like this is what's happening.
Trying,
it's hard to believe, but this is what is actually happening.
And it's like they want people to be confused about it, because like they're 100%. Backdooring it right now. Like regardless of what anybody says, they're backdooring this technology, because you want to know what crypto was going to do? It was going to take the people like us from commercial banks straight to the central bank. Mm-hmm. That's why they're coming out with the digital dollar, CBDC, the central bank digital currency, is taking us away from the JP Morgan and the, you know, like I feel like in the future it's going to be a luxury to have like a Chase account, because like that's what crypto like they're going to do. Like with this digital dollar, they're taking us, the people, away from like private sector, you know, public sector, and putting us on private sector, like so they can monitor like the money more, and like, you know, like there's pros and cons to it, but it's like there's nothing, this has been going on before we can even do anything about it. So it's like, are you just going to be, my favorite, like Coach JV says, are you going to be an armchair quarterback and just yell at, oh, you should have did this, and like, or are you going to like be a part of it, you know, be a part of like what's going on right now, you know?
Yes.
Or you want to just be the guy who's throwing the remote at the TV, like this, you know?
Yeah.
Good point. Very good point. Yeah. And I mean, honestly, I mean, just having your money in a, you know, traditional bank right now, you're running a risk no matter what, you know, there's risk in everything that you're doing.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. You guys, this is, it's, you know, keep doing what you're doing. And I really hope that, you know, having these little conversations will spark a little something. And like you said, nothing would bring me greater joy than to hear someone tell me 2 years from now, like, oh, I heard Harper and David on your interview, and now I've got like $20,000, and you know,
that's it
or whatever. That would just like
what we always preach is, once you do your research, like you're gonna get hooked, because you're gonna like what the technology does, you know, like. Like, just don't invest just like because you like the name. Like, do the research. I guarantee you, like, the more confident you are, like, about like, oh, the world could use this type of technology. Like, the more confident you are in your investment, the better you'll feel.
For sure.
Like, I don't even look at my account like probably once a day, because like I'm so like I don't care if it's up or down. You know, like I'm confident in my investments. You know, like he said, 2025 and beyond. Like that's what I'm thinking of. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Great. Oh man. I think I can see that there's so much to talk about.
Stay tuned for part 2.
Yeah, there's like
we may need to come back for part 2. So I'm gonna keep an eye on, you know, the comments for you know, when this is on the playbacks and everything. Yeah. But thank you guys so much. We'll definitely have to have you back and answer more questions as they come in. But
anytime.
I wish you both the very best in everything that you're doing. And you know, just keep sharing what you're sharing. This is really, really exciting. Any parting words for everybody?
I mean, trust your gut, and
don't be afraid to take the step, you know.
And it's all a mindset, and you can shift your mindset whenever you want.
Yes. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Well, great. Well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. I hope that this has at least sparked something inside you that just at least, you know, sparks your curiosity and is planting some little seeds in your mind. No one here is a financial advisor, so this wasn't advice. This was simply a sharing of experience and just, you know, something that's going on. So please let me clarify that and know that. But I will be back here again Wednesday night at the same time with a new guest. So I'll see you then. And David, I'm sure I'll see you on a gig soon. Harper, I hope that our paths cross at some point.
Maybe one day if you guys are doing a gig, like I'll be there.
Yeah, that would be great. All right. Okay, cool, guys. Well, I'll let you have the rest of your night back, but thanks again. And hopefully we'll talk to you again soon about this.
Sounds good. Thanks, Danielle.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.